Hello. Welcome back to the Golf Ireland pod. I'm delighted to be your host, Stephen Murphy, and we are back for another episode to recap, preview, and chat to one of the leading stars in amateur golf in Ireland. Thank you for joining us here again, and I hope you all had a fantastic weekend and played some great golf. Coming up on this week's episode, we look back at the Connacht Stroke Play Championship. We also look back on the winner of the St Andrews Links. We will be chatting to Laura Webb this week, amateur golf royalty, I think some would say, judging by her CV. It was great to talk to her, fascinating as always. And then we'll be looking ahead to this week's tournament, the European Seniors in Douglas Golf Club. But let us look back, as always, as we do. Let's look to the Connacht Stroke Play Championship, and we had a dominating win by local man Sam Murphy. He made his dream return to Portrush, where he's a member, and he won by 10 strokes on a score of 18 under par. It was grueling 2 days, 4 rounds over 2 days, 2 rounds on the Saturday, 2 rounds on the Sunday. But Sam absolutely obliterated the field and dominated his hometown course. He's only 20 years old and narrowly missing out last week with the East. What a fantastic way to bounce back after that disappointment and turn it into a positive. So congratulations to Sam Murphy. A fantastic win at a fantastic golf course. As I said last week, I have nothing but praise for Portrush. It's a course I am familiar with personally, and he deserved to win after 4 rounds at 18 under par. Second place was David Kitt from Athenry. Congratulations to David. That's a club I'm a member of myself. And third place went to Quinton Carew of Castleknock. He was back in third place. Fantastic second and thirds for David and Quinton, but Sam was in a class of his own at the weekend. A few quotes from Sam. He said, "My game's been really good. Ever since mid-March, I've been playing really well. My confidence has been really high. Going head-to-head with the 2 boys last week really helped. Definitely coming down the last 18 today." He highlighted his putting as well. He said, "I'm putting really well. Everything inside 15 foot I feel like I'm going to make, which is nice." Yeah, I think that's definitely a nice feeling. I couldn't relate to that, Sam. I'm more everything inside a foot, pretty confident on. Anything over that, we're struggling. But Sam was in a different groove. He said that the greens out here, when they're rolling so good, he has so much confidence on them, and he's growing up in the greens, which definitely help. And as I said, Portrush always have greens in fantastic order. Sam also jumped 14 places in the latest Bridgestone Order of Merit rankings. He goes from 26th up onto 12th spot with that win. Currently still leading the Order of Merit is Alex Maguire in first. Second is David Shield. Third, Jack McDonald, and Shane McDermott, who's having a very good few weeks as well, in fourth, ahead of David Kitt in fifth. So there some big moves meant by Sam Murphy there to get into the top 12. As always, you can keep an eye on the Order of Merit rankings on the Golf Ireland website. Another victory we have to speak of, and no, this is not a repeat of last weekend. Alex Maguire is in the winner's circle again, and he continued his habit of winning big at the first time of asking. He secured the St Andrews Links Trophy with a precious win on the old course on Sunday. The Laytown and Bettystown youngster finished an astonishing 21 under par to win by 5 shots over Sweden's Albert Hansen at St Andrews. Maguire has just been on fire the last 2 weeks. He's playing some outrageously good golf. He was tied for the lead with England golfer Charlie Crockett entering that last round, but the 22-year-old blew him away with a scintillating 64 on the old course, backing up his brilliant win in the East of Ireland just last week. Confidence it's just obviously incredibly high for Alex, and playing around a special course like St Andrews, he must have been inspired to go on and win that as well. We have a quote here from Alex. He said, "My first time playing the old course this week, and it's a strange thing. I have a habit of winning the first time playing events. I've done it the North, did it the Connacht Stroke Play." He goes, "I did well at British Am my first time playing it, and then obviously this. 2 titles in 2 weeks. I probably wouldn't have rode it myself, but I just felt like the pressure I had the last week made it a lot easier this week because there was no crowds out watching. I knew it was a big event, but I didn't really feel much pressure." So again, fantastic mindset. When you've been in a situation, the pressurized situation like the East last weekend, come out on top, it just has to give you so much more confidence going forward. So absolutely brilliant win for Alex Maguire. When will he stop the winning? Who knows? He should just enter loads of tournaments for the first time and just win them and then move on. just collect loads of titles around the place. That's that. I think that wraps up all the action from last weekend. Again, congratulations to all our winners. We are now transfer it over to my chat with Laura Webb. So enjoy that, and then we'll be back to preview all the action coming up at Douglas Golf Club. I'm now delighted to be joined by Laura Webb, who has kindly joined us here on the Golf Ireland pod. Laura, thank you for taking your time out of your day to speak with me. How are you? Have you been enjoying the glorious weather we're experiencing?
I've been amazed by the glorious weather that we've got up here, and I should say thank you for inviting me to join you here, Stephen. It's starting to become quite a busy time with golf tournaments coming up, and the glorious weather means that it's a delight to get out.
Yeah, it is. It's a different experience playing golf in these conditions compared to the wet and wind, especially down here in Galway. It's a pleasure, but I've been speaking to a few greenkeepers and they are starting to panic a little bit. They could do with some water. I don't know if it's the same up there in Royal Portrush, Laura.
Yes, the courses are starting to look a little bit dry, shall we say. The standard burnt links is appearing a little earlier than I'm sure Graham and his team would be wishing, but it hasn't stopped the rough growing.
Yeah, that's always a nice. The rough doesn't seem to need water. That will grow as it pleases, it appears. But Laura, if anyone isn't familiar with yourself, look, if you're into amateur golf, you will know who Laura is. But let me just give a couple of some of the career stats here. Laura is the first woman to win all three close titles, which is the 1979 Irish Girls Championship, the 1994 Irish Close Championship, and then in 2014 the Irish Senior Close Championship. Laura, obviously you look back on that, I'm sure, a lot, but how proud of that achievement are you? Is it something you ever thought was going to happen, or did it just come by chance?
Well, to be honest, when I won the seniors, and it was announced during the presentation that I had achieved that feat, I was absolutely dumbfounded that I was the first person to have done it. I'm very, very proud of it. I've really enjoyed playing golf, playing these tournaments, playing golf in Ireland and for Ireland, and it was an amazing feat to achieve. And I'm really hoping that there will be somebody out there who will come along and do it again, because golf is a game for everybody and for all ages. So you can just keep going.
Yes, absolutely. Looking back on those wins, was one harder to win than the others? Does one stand out, or is it like trying to pick between your favorite kids?
Well, they each were challenging in their own ways. I suppose winning the ladies or the women's, as it's called these days, was probably the best, perhaps the most surprising to me. Without, I knew I was quite comparable with the girls that were playing. I knew I was a youngster coming into the seniors game, so at the time I won the women's, there was probably more really fine golfers playing at that time, so that would definitely be my proudest achievement. Yeah.
And there's obviously 35 years between the first close and the last close. Was it always the aim to play competitive golf for that period of time, or is it just you treat every year as a new year, see how you get on? What was the aim back in 1979?
Well, golf has been my main sport, and I love playing it, and I never wanted to stop. Even when I had my children, I was very fortunate. My mother-in-law was happy to look after the kids when they were younger, and then my husband and I did car park swaps on Saturdays so that we both could play. So I was very fortunate to be able to do that. I know perhaps that was selfish of me in some way, but golf was the game that I loved to play, and I wanted to keep doing it.
Fantastic. I also want to talk about your time as team captain for the Irish women's team. You've captained teams in European matches, international matches. Talk to me about the honour of being named captain of an Irish team like that.
Well, it's absolutely a fantastic honour for me to have been asked or selected to be captain. I think at the time I was living in England, so it was perhaps more difficult for me because I didn't know the up and coming girls and ladies that were vying for spots, and so that perhaps made it a bit more difficult for me. But I was thrilled to be a captain of the team at both the Europeans and the home internationals, and they did ever so well, just not quite getting over the mark that time. But obviously they continue to go from strength to strength, and with the home international win last year, hopefully they'll keep going and get us a European title again soon.
Hopefully is right. You succeeded Danielle McVeigh as captain. Did you reach out to her for tips? Did she offer any assistance when you took the appointment?
Yeah, I had a chat with Danielle. She was very helpful, gave me some insights from her time. We obviously had a very brief chat, and I don't know Danielle very well, but it was great that she was able to give me a few pointers. We had a bit of difficulty, I suppose, in that I was captain over the COVID years, which didn't help matters. So all in all, I think it was a great experience for me, and a great honour.
This is a tougher question probably to answer because it's so subjective. But what makes a good captain to you, Laura?
A good captain to me, someone who will let the girls get on with how they want to be and play what they need to do, but be there for them when they, to give them some moral support, give them advice if they want it, but not to be kind of pushing them. It's they're the ones that have to play the shots, so they need to be comfortable with what they're doing and making sure the whole environment is comfortable for them to be in. Then I think that makes a good captain.
Talk to me about that process of, you sort of touched on it a little bit already, but learning about your players, finding out what makes them tick, what makes them perform to their best abilities, because everyone's different, right? Some people react better to maybe more hands-on management or captaincy, whereas, as you said there, some people react better to, hey, leave me to my own devices, I know what I'm doing. Talk to me about that process.
Well, I think you just have to be in their company, see how they get on, chat with them about anything, find out a little bit more about them, and I'm not saying I was particularly good at that, but just seeing how they react and watching how they work on the golf course. So I think it's not an easy thing to do, and in terms of putting people at ease and being able to get that connection with them. That's something that I know I struggle with a little bit. So it makes it was quite difficult for me, I think, and living in England made it that much harder. But like I said, the girls were all fantastic. They were they had essentially grown up together playing golf, so they were a close-knit team anyway, and were very capable of getting on and doing their own work.
Yeah, I also from the outside, especially on the international matches where you have to travel away, it seems that the group bonds a lot quicker maybe on those away trips, just because you're spending so much time in each other's company, as you said before. Is that the case? Is that kind of a fair observation?
I think yes, you absolutely bond faster being away, but the nature of the game and sort of playing tournaments, doing coaching and all that sort of thing as a group, and growing up seeing each other playing competitions. I wouldn't quite say week in, week out, but throughout the season, the girls get to know each other through that as well. So that helps when you're going away. People are already friends, and they keep the whole team spirit there together.
Absolutely. I want to take another highlight of your career was winning the Senior British Open Amateur Championship, Laura. What the fun part about it all was actually 2 weeks before that you helped Ireland win the European Senior Team Championship in Poland, and then went on to win the British Open Amateur Championship 2016. A closing round 76 for an overall level par total, the lowest total score this century. And you won it by 3 shots. Again, just adding to an already pretty impressive resume, Laura. But can you talk to us about feelings from that week? Again, the achievement, the satisfaction of getting a win that big.
Well, that week was pretty special. Going on the lead up to it, I had actually read something on the RNA website about a player in Berkshire that I knew, and Berkshire is where I lived in England, and she had successfully won the British. She was a fine golfer, Angela Uzielli, and I read that, and it just gave me a really good feeling. And when I got up to Caldy, that feeling didn't go away. It just felt it just felt right to be there. Obviously, I had a really good start. I had a good first round. Didn't like the 18th hole much, but apart from that, the people that I played with in the next 2 rounds, who they redo the draw, and it so you're playing with the challengers essentially. It was great to have that extra, I suppose, urge to do well, but I have to say I felt very comfortable at that course, at that week, and it was I was quite amazed really to have won. There are so many good players that it was a splendid atmosphere, and I was absolutely thrilled, and to have a couple of my Irish colleagues there on the sidelines cheering me on was made it even more special.
Fantastic. When you win, Laura, you seem to win by a decent margin. It doesn't seem to be too tight sometimes. Do you consider yourself a great front runner? Is that even something that you think about when you're playing, or do you just play your golf, play it hole by hole?
I think I'm always waiting for people to catch up with me. So I don't necessarily consider. I've never really thought of myself as a good front runner. I just go out trying to make as few mistakes as possible, and hope that I do well enough. I think if you're chasing, you can put a bit more pressure on yourself. So, but I think also if you're in the lead, you're all well. I'm always looking behind me, which is not necessarily a good thing. It's very nice to know that you're keeping that gap, but if you have a hiccup along the way, then it's very much get back to just trying to make as few mistakes as possible, get the pars in, and kind of keep your head down.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I think people get confused, especially in the amateur game, is that players of your quality make a ton of birdies per round. That's not really the case. It's you guys really make mistakes, or at least catastrophic mistakes. Very few doubles on the cards, which is the key for good scoring. But let's look ahead to this week's European Senior Amateur, which is taking place in Douglas Golf Club down in Cork. What does this competition mean to you personally, Laura? Because it's obviously a huge competition where the elite of the elite will be playing.
Yeah, I mean it's very much one of the top competitions for seniors golf. It's all the European countries pretty much are represented, and we have a few from further afield, which is interesting, but makes for a tremendous field. So to be in with a chance of winning will be fantastic. The fact that it's being played in Cork at Douglas is even more amazing for Irish golf. We've got more players than we would normally have in the field, and I would very much like to see, if it's not me, an Irish winner. That would really be the icing on the cake for Irish golf. The next biggest tournament really for us would be the British seniors. So this is outside of Ireland, essentially outside of Ireland. This is one of the top two events to play in, and it's very exciting to be able to play this in Ireland this year.
Talk to us a bit about Douglas Golf Club. Are you very familiar with the course? No, you may not.
Not at all. In fact,
not at all. Okay.
I don't actually know that I've played it at all.
Okay, there you go. So there's an added little.
Interesting.
Yeah. So well, then talk to me about your what's the mindset then going into a course like that? Obviously, when do you head down for practice rounds?
I'm heading down on Monday,
Monday.
and we have 2 practice rounds. Tuesday, Wednesday. So first off, it's just getting to know your way around the course, and then the second round will be making sure that I know how I want to play the holes, and I'm getting as used to the greens as possible. So yeah, I mean, Tuesday will just be let's see what the course is like, and Wednesday spend a bit more time thinking about how I want to go about playing it. And then on Thursday, it's see what turns up on the tee.
Well, to talk to us about how is your game heading into this week? Are you feeling confident with where your game is at?
I'm probably not feeling that confident. My game has it's been improving, but it's not where I want it to be. So we'll just see if I can get. The important thing is getting around the course with as few mistakes as possible, and I can be quite good at getting the ball round despite not playing my best. That might not be good enough next week, so I have to try and make sure that my mindset is right, and I'm not going to be upset about not playing my best golf, and just be comfortable with getting how I am playing and keep going. So I don't think I haven't played as well as I would like so far this season, we just have to see how it goes. But I'll go down with every intention of playing the best golf I can and see whether that's good enough.
Is that almost sometimes a confidence-inspiring way of going into a tournament where your expectations may not be as high as normal, and you're going out that first day maybe not to shoot the lights out, but to at least stay in contention after round one and then see where that takes you?
I think it can be, yes. I mean, if you get off to a good start, despite not feeling that comfortable, that can definitely help. It's always good to hold a good putt. It's always nice to hit some hit a solid drive off the first tee and so on. So if you're not feeling quite as comfortable with your game as you'd like, then things like that definitely help. It certainly helped me with the Spanish last year, where I wasn't feeling great going in, and all of a sudden a golfer turned up on the tee on the first day, and so I know it can happen, and we'll keep try and keep the mindset correct for going into next week.
Yes, you mentioned the Spanish. Obviously, Laura won last year's Spanish Senior Women's Open as well as the Irish Senior Women's Open. So you're very familiar with winning. I'm sure the other competitors know that about you too, Laura. So if they see you up thereabouts on round 3, that they'll know about it too. So look, thank you very much. We can wrap it up there, Laura. Thank you very much for taking the time out. I know you're a busy woman, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck in Douglas next weekend.
Thank you very much indeed, Stephen.
And thank you again to Laura Webb for joining me here on the Golf Ireland pod. I'm sure, like myself, you enjoyed listening to her chat about what it takes to be at the top of your game like she has been for so long now. As always, it's just fascinating to listen to. But yeah, Laura is in action this week at the European Senior Championship, which will be contested in Ireland for the first time at Douglas Golf Club in Cork. And that is taking place June 15 to 17, so this Thursday, Friday and Saturday over 3 days. We wish Laura obviously nothing but the best here. She takes on some of the best women golfers around Europe in the senior division, and also some of the best men senior golfers around Europe will also be at Douglas, all fighting for the prestigious title. Reigning champion James Crampton from Spalding Golf Club, he'll be looking to defend his crown in the men's section, while Sue Wooster from the National Golf Club is back to defend her title too in the women's section. And Douglas's own Irish international Carl Burneman, he'll be taking part as well, and he has his sights very much set on getting some of that silverware that's on offer this week. He spoke a bit about that, saying that obviously it's a bit distracting being your home club, but he wouldn't be entering if he didn't see himself potentially winning, which would obviously be huge for Douglas if Carl was to go on and win that in the men's division. And of course we would love to see Laura Webb win in the women's section too. But whoever wins at the weekend, I'm sure will be more than worthy champions. The weather is it's giving a bit of everything. It's giving quite hot with a lot of rain. God knows, possibly some storms. So that will be fascinating to keep an eye out for too this weekend and see how people deal with that. But as I said, if you're in and around the Cork area or not, even if you're far, far away, try and get down and support the seniors. Absolutely fantastic golf on display and a fantastic golf club. And the winners will be crowned on Saturday the 17th of June. But yes, I think that wraps up everything from this week in Golf Ireland. Thank you as always for listening. We appreciate it, and we'll be back next week to recap the European Seniors, and we'll have another guest for you to listen to. So thank you.